Hey y'all, this is Treacherous Slayer coming at y'all with another video, and before we get started, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Now tonight, y'all, we're getting into Dexter Resurrection Episode 8, The Kill Room and Where It Happens. And now, y'all, a lot definitely went down this episode, and I'm glad I was gagged by the end of it because it was a hell of a plot twist I was not expecting in the slightest. So, without further ado, let's see the highlights of this episode. So, the episode starts off with stalking, annoying ass Batista as he obsesses over, finally cracking down on Ginger Snap and exposing him as the Bay Harbor Butcher. And we see him held up in his hotel room, recording himself, I guess, for evidence for later, so he can expose him once he catches him in the act, basically, since we see his whole evidence wall is consumed with pictures of Dexter. And he also has pictures of Harrison, too. And I'm looking like, do you not know when to leave well enough alone? Like, what are you not learning and understanding about going against Dexter if you know he's a Bay Harbor Butcher deep down? Do you think it's wise to avoid this cat and mouse chase? So he continues to do that since we know he planted his AirPods in Dexter's car last episode. We then jump to Leon preparing a gala for NYPD, showing appreciation of all the work they do to keep the community safe, which is hella ironic since he's celebrating those who also keep it in distress and fear. The whole purpose of this specific gala for the officers who are injured in the field and are disabled, and one of the organizers makes a mistake by forgetting to add the ramp next to the stairs, so they'll be able to go up to the stage and speak and recollect on what they had to go through and why they appreciate being there. And Leon basically reminds her, like, oh, how's your daughter? How's the specialist that I recommended? And she tells him she's been great and her daughter's health has been restored, and she quickly gets everything in order. So that goes to show how much power this man wields over New York's head. So I'm interested to see in this finale, will he be revealed as the New York Ripper? Let me know what y'all think down in the comments. Do y'all think Leon is the New York Ripper, or he definitely knows who the New York Ripper is, since he said the New York Ripper used to terrorize the streets he used to live on? So that line I have not forgot about since this started airing. And we have 2 more episodes left, so anything can happen. We just see throughout the episode Ginger Snap trying to finish off Al, since we see Harry saying, see, you never mix killing with friends. Like, you should never try to befriend these people knowing you will potentially take them out. It's going to cause problems. And Ginger Snap's like, yeah, trust me, this is the last one on the shopping block, which it's supposed to be. So he talks to Al, and Al's already getting ready to leave New York since he feels like everyone getting bopped and flopped is affecting the mood in Leon's mansion. So he doesn't want to stick around New York for long. He wants to go back to Wisconsin since his wife is ovulating and they want to create another baby. I'm like, yeah, he's a family man first. So he tells Ginger Snap before he leaves he wants to go attend the Hamilton musical. So that's when Ginger Snap plans to bop and flop him at this wig shop, since we seen that in the promo last week. That's where Ginger Snap is potentially gonna bop Al at. So he sets that up, and on throughout the episode, Batista stalks him with the AirPods unbeknownst to Ginger Snap. So it seems like my theory is wrong from last episode. He didn't know and hear the clatter of the AirPod case dropping the passenger side and just kept driving casually. So I just know this is not going to end well for Batista, y'all. We also see Harrison linking up with Elsa in a park, and she's still complaining about her slumlord and how he's not making things better, he's making things worse. But she doesn't even have to worry about the mold anymore since he cut off the heat as well. So now that we know the situation is getting dire and her and Dante could potentially be homeless, this causes Harrison to call Ginger Snap and ask him for help. And Ginger Snap concedes and tells him he's gonna do everything in his power to help get them out of this dilemma. And we notice throughout Ginger Snap preparing to bop and flop Al, he's having shoulder pains from his last kill with Garrett. Yo, that was such a funny scene, y'all. And he goes to Joy for acupuncture help. And him and Joy chit chat about how she's going to Berkeley for business. And she assumed Blessing would be happy and supportive of her, but he does the complete opposite. And Ginger Snap, unbeknownst to Joy, brings up his past must play a role in why he reacted the way he did, wanting her so close and not leaving out his sight. But she asks him, what kind of grown man doesn't want his 27-year-old child to like potentially move away? And she asks him, does he hover over Harrison like that? And he's like, oh no, he gives him his space. And she was like, well, you would expect to be hovering over him since he's a teenager, which logically makes sense. So, poor Ginger Snap, he is under the assumption that Blessing already told his family about his past trauma. And Ginger Snap spills the tea and tells Joy that he used to be a child soldier and he was kidnapped by a warlord. And Joy was like, wait, what? I thought she just saved him from a country at war, not that he participated as a soldier. And it's funny because Blessing called Joy's fiance Lefty Commie since he's pursuing business. And she said that's ironic since business, it's a capitalistic field anyway, so that defeats the purpose anyway. He's still gonna do well. But she just pissed at the fact that he spilled this tea to someone he only known for 2 weeks and didn't tell his daughter this knowledge, and she's now 27. I'm like, yeah, Ginger Snap's under depression. Regardless of how old the child is, they should know at least somewhat of what you went through so they don't be caught off guard with news like that. And we see she takes this horribly, and throughout the acupuncture treatment, she was already kind of agitated since he wasn't accepting her of moving to California. She just storms out, and Ginger Snap's just like, oops. So that was definitely an intense moment of this episode. Blessing not telling his family about his true past. So, and we also see Detective Claude investigating the Bay Harbor Butcher case since she already had her encounter with Ginger Snap, and she wants to make sure she didn't miss any details. One of my favorite moments of this episode was when Charlie pulled Leon aside at the gala preparation, and he's like, what? And y'all, how this man talks to her with the utmost disrespect, she is better than me because I do not understand how she still works for this man. Like, I don't care how much money he making, you talk to me like that, we're fighting. Like, she tells him that, I don't know, something's off with Red. Like, I don't trust him. There's no information on him, and he's not telling us something. And Leon tells her, what do you think? That he bought the flop, Lowell had Mia arrested and constructed this fight with Gareth to implicate him in innocence. You think he went through all that trouble just to make us think he's someone else? And with him describing that to Charlie at that moment, that makes me think Leon already knows Ginger Snap's true identity, because how did you just clock and see that quick? I'm like, yeah, this man is highly dangerous. And Charlie says, well, he's elusive and secretive, and that's the thing, I don't have no theories on him. And my whole job is to protect you. And Leon's like, right, so do your job. And I'm like, talk to me with more respect. Because you would definitely get one of these. Like, you was 2 seconds away from getting these served straight to the dome. Like, and y'all can see how Charlie clenches her fist because she is sick and tired of Leon's bullshit and how he talks to her. I know she's itching to put one of these in his brain because we can tell she definitely doesn't like working for him, but since he's known for helping terminally ill patients, and it seems like Charlie's mom is one, he must be holding that over her head like a carrot on a stick to make her bend to his will, since she probably desperately needed his help to get the treatment that her mom needed to survive. So I'm hoping she turns on him and works with Ginger Snap, because it seems like the finale it might go that direction. And we see Harrison going on a date with Gigi, since he's stepping out of his comfort zone, where I'm liking that he's getting some sense of normalcy and not being all jittery and nervous all the damn time. So that's a nice character change that I like to see Harrison go through. And he decides to take her out dancing at the club, so that's gonna be their first date. And we also see Ginger Snap dealing with getting information from Constance on tenant landlord laws to see how to deal with the mold issue. And she gives him his handbook, and then you can tell Blessing's pissed when he speaks to him, and Blessing just said, "Dexter, can I talk to you for 1 minute?" He was deadly calm, y'all. So we see Blessing is pissed off from what Ginger Snap slipped up to Joy, and that wasn't Ginger Snap's fault. He was under the impression that you already came clean with your daughter about your past, so that's not really Ginger Snap's fault. And pacing back and forth, like, how can you tell her about my past? Like, she didn't even let me explain. She's already on the road crying, and then she hung up on him. I'm like, well, sir, that's a you problem. You got clicked on. And Ginger Snap tells Blessing, like, you'll be surprised what children can handle, but he asks him, could Harrison handle that you bought the floss on? And Ginger Snap's inner monologue was like, just one? Are we talking about? Because Harrison already under pressure, and it seems like Harrison out here living his best life now, since we see him at the club with Gigi having a heart-to-heart, and we learn that Gigi's nerve damage is permanent in her arm, and that's going to affect her from being a field detective like she truly wants to, since it has uncontrolled spasms, and that could definitely affect her if she needs to, you know, track down someone and take them down. And Harrison influences her, like, look, don't give up, and you don't have to just stop your dreams at being a detective. There's plenty of other fields you can go to while still pursuing justice. Like, he gives an example on just not being a forensics analyst. Like, thanks to his lab skills, he was able to put away plenty of criminals. So I don't think your path just stops at being a detective. You could be anything else and still make a difference in law and save lives. And this definitely is a influence she needed, as she makes her typical nerve damage joke and flicks him off twice with both hands. I like their chemistry dynamic, and it seems like she needs someone like him. He needs someone like her to have a sense of freedom and fun in life, since he definitely needs that. And y'all, I was shocked by this applause. Al was already on the road when Ginger Snap was waiting to meet him after Hamilton, the musical, and he tells him, change of plans, my wife's definitely wanting me home at the moment, and something came up with the daughter, so I'm coming home, or I'm already on the road. And Ginger Snap still tries to pressure him for answers, like, okay, where are you? I can meet you on the road. Like, he's like, oh no, I'm down there, gone almost to Wisconsin. He was like, which part of Wisconsin do you live in? And Al tells him, you know, I keep my Prater life and Wisconsin life different. So you stay strong out there, Red, and maybe I'll see you next year. And Ginger Snap just pissed off as Al hangs up, and Al just throws the phone out the window, y'all, erasing that aspect of life, just getting rid of any evidence that ties him to a Prater. And Ginger Snap is pissed at a killer that he had to let free. And this leaves him angry, like we know. His urge hasn't been satisfied, so he needs to take it out on someone. And that someone is definitely Valentino, that slumlord, and I'm glad he decides to meet him. And he praises Harrison internally about how much restraint he's shown for not bopping to flop him. And we see him take his Ettervine and catch Valentino off guard and toss him in the trunk. And this part scared me because there was a passerby that walked by, and it could have easily seen Ginger Snap putting a body in the car, but Ginger Snap quickly pulls up his ski mask, and the person just glues to their phone, just casually walking, and then we hear him say, I love New York in his head. And that was the perfect luck, because he definitely could have got caught in that moment right there, red-handed. So Ginger Snap wakes up Valentino and tells him, look, you need to change your ways, because my motto is, I feel like it's easier to people to die than change. Do you believe that? So we all know Ginger Snap's code is solid, and we learned that Valentino is so bad to the point he caused a few of his tenants to pass away from harsh living conditions, and since he didn't decide to fix those issues, he became an issue himself. So it just now giving him a reality check, like, look, either you get it together or you get about to flop right here and now. And we see Batista's annoying ass, like, coming out of a cab, trying to unlock the door, and Ginger Snap hears the door rattling, and he's like, well, it's time for Valentino to become someone else's problem. And that was literally the perfect time for Ginger Snap to get away, because I was so scared thinking he was gonna get caught red-handed when he had his knife held up. So he was just giving Valentino a deadly warning, and we see Batista breaking in the shop and having his gun posted up, like, okay, he's ready for a confrontation. And Valentino rushes out. He's like, wait, stop. He's like, help me. He's trying to kill me. And then Batista's like, where's Dexter? He's like, move, cocksucker. And knocks Batista over. He flies out that story all underwear. Oh, he was getting the hell out of there like the devil was after him, literally. And Batista gets up and checks the scene and goes to the alley and doesn't see Ginger Snap there. And we hear Ginger Snap speed off. And Batista curses himself like, damn it. I'm like, yeah, 2 seconds too late. And luckily, Ginger Snap didn't leave evidence behind at all. It's just plastic around. And to be honest, logically speaking, it looks like it's just going under renovation, to be honest. This doesn't look too well for Batista. So he calls Detective Claudette and tells him that he has a lead on a Bay Harbor butcher and she needs to come to this location that he sends her. And we see Ginger Snap getting pissed off, like, how the hell did Batista stalking ass find him? And then he starts to realize that obviously he put a tracer somewhere in his vehicle. So he pulls over and literally tears his car apart. And he checks under the tires, and he checks his back seats, the backseat pockets, the your car kit with the snacks and drinks. Then he checks the passenger side, and he sits there for a moment in the glove department, and then he digs his hand in the passenger side door, and he finally finds them rancid ass AirPods. And it was like, he's looking at them like, I know this motherfucker didn't put these AirPods up in here, and he's been tracking me with these this whole time. And that he did. So what did Ginger Snap do? He curb stomped them AirPods to smithereens, and there was nothing left. So the only one who lost their life in this episode were the AirPods. Like, those AirPods are not going to see the light of day ever again, y'all. So RIP to those AirPods. He don't even realize how expensive those AirPods is. So the life lost in this episode was the AirPods, which is hilarious, y'all. So that was a funny little aspect. And Detective Claude and Oliver go to meet Batista, and he tries to explain how the Valentino got away, but he didn't get his name, as Valentino didn't stick around so he would be questioned. He got the hell out of there, y'all, and they're asking him, okay, so what did the would-be victim look like? And he was like, tall, thick, and black hair, and that's most likely Italian. And Oliver was like, you're describing half the police force right now, you gotta be more specific. And Detective Claude is like, wait, so you didn't see Dexter, you didn't find Dexter at all or anything? He was like, no, but I came here before it even happened, and I put a tracker in his car, and it was like, you got a warrant? And he was like, no, I just used my AirPod case. And she was looking at him like, okay, you wasting our night right now. And Oliver was like, yeah, man's crazy right now. Like, can we leave? And then he tries to show them a location of Dexter's whereabouts. And when he shows them, the signal is lost, because obviously he pushed it to smithereens. And they're just looking at him like he's lost his mind. And he's like, y'all gotta believe me, because he is the Bay Harbor Butcher. And she says, is that what you want us to believe? That Dexter was the one that did this, that you didn't set all this up? So Dexter low-key doesn't realize he's playing chess, because he feel like he's made a mistake throughout the episode. But I'm like, nah, like, low-key, this is gonna work out in his favor, because now Batista just looks like an unhinged stalker and someone who can't let go and process his past. So, what y'all think? Is Batista gonna be alive in cuffs or be bopped and flopped in the season finale? I don't know, y'all. Anything goes now, because he's not gonna stop. As we see Ginger Snap having internal monologue conversation with Harry, saying how Batista's not gonna stop and he has to put an end to this. And the episode wraps up with a paranoid Ginger Snap as he chats with Harrison at this restaurant, and they chit chat about how he basically intimidated Valentino to do right, and now Elsa and Dante don't have to worry about getting evicted and potentially homeless since he finally fixed all the issues that he needed to fix. So that was nice that they had that father-son moment, and he didn't have to bop and flop someone for Harrison to understand that he can make a difference without retorting to the code. And that's what Harrison loves to see, since we know Harrison despises using the code at all, since we know he's making it very evident that he's not like his father, and little does he know his father doesn't want him to be a carbon copy of himself. And they're just vibing, enjoying their dinner. And y'all, why the hell, y'all, this made my stomach just drop. The score changes and Ginger Snap's face changes. I'm like, wait, who the hell he see? And then Leon come walking up, y'all, like, Red, I didn't know you had a son. Where the hell did he come from? And how he looked at Harrison, and Ginger Snap's face was just pissed off, y'all. So I know this is not gonna end well. We see Charlie smirking ass outside, just ready with her hand on her hip. Y'all know she got her clip concealed. Like, yeah, got that ass. So bring that ass outside, cause how you gonna explain this? And y'all, that's how the kill room where it happens ends. Episode 8 definitely gave a prelude to coming events in terms of the last 2 episodes. Like, anything goes, and I would say the writers did a phenomenal job throwing us off each week. Like, you would think a certain sequence of events would happen, but they do the complete opposite. Like, I said A+ to these writers, one of the best writing teams out there for the Dexterverse. Y'all are doing y'all damn thing. Because I am itching to see how this season ends. Because we got 2 episodes left, y'all. I told y'all hell's about to break loose. So you see, it's already breaking loose on Batista's ass, so it's not looking too good for him. And Charlie's suspicions was right about Red, since she ended up following Ginger Snap and finding out that he has Harrison. And Leon's definitely not going to let this one go, but I'm interested to see how it's going to end. So y'all let me know down in the comments, like, what do y'all think is going to happen? Since we seen Detective Claude, I think, finally easing off of Ginger Snap, since she calls Miami and Quinn answers. Like, okay, who is this? And she's like, okay, this is the NYPD and I want information on the Bay Harbor Butcher case. And he's like, the Bay Harbor Butcher case has been closed for years. Like, what are we talking about right now? And she's like, but Batista's actively investigating. He's like, wait, Batista, or like Captain Batista? She's like, wait, he is your captain, right? He was like, well, he was, but not anymore. He's retired now. And listen, he's a good guy, but I don't know what the fuck he's doing in New York. And she's like, okay, thank you for the information. So now he definitely looks like a Looney Tune, and like I said, he just sealed his fate with this one. I don't think he's gonna be a reliable source for the NYPD to believe him in his pursuit of Ginger Snap. So yeah, y'all, a lot has definitely went down in this show, and episode 8 definitely dropped a lot of nuggets that we're gonna have to pay attention to. So y'all let me know in the comments, are y'all enjoying Resurrection so far? Because I definitely am. So I'll see y'all next week. I'm Treacherous Slayer, and I'll see y'all later. Bye.